already know what you're gonna say. And I said, well, what am I gonna say? He said, you're gonna say good.
Good morning. It is Thursday, so it's the exact same session as last week, but I'm actually gonna edit this video tomorrow, so you're gonna get to see both this session today and tomorrow's session. So it probably will be a longer video. Either way, it is morning. I've actually been up for like maybe an hour, had a cup of coffee, been reading and stuff, and now I'm gonna get to the gym. So I'm just gonna fix my orange juice that I'm having with me. I'm also gonna drink some electrolytes as well, and then I'm gonna head out. We got bench press today, easier sessions. I think it's 3 sets of like 5, so pretty simple, but we're gonna do the performance juice and then I'm gonna see you in the gym. So this is electrolytes. These ones are not as concentrated, but they taste good. Because there's like a lemon flavor, which I actually think blends pretty well. So I have 300 milliliters of orange juice. I get 2 of these. I think these are 9 grams each. And then I'm also gonna have a glass of water with 2 scoops of this. And this is just electrolyte powder. These electrolyte powders does have potassium in them, and I'll have 1 banana as well, just like surgery. I'm also gonna make a smoothie, and then I'm gonna drink this smoothie whilst I'm doing my rehab in the warm-up, and then I get straight into this. But that's why I'm gonna drink electrolytes and a banana now, and then I'm gonna have orange juice, like sipping on it when I get to my bench press, like working sets. So I just prepare this, and then I just mix it with water. Orange juice set. Let's have 2 scoops of electrolytes and a banana just right now. And in my smoothie, I'm gonna have I'm dieting right now because I need to cut weight. Obviously, I did the 69s at Nationals, and now that I got Worlds, the plan is actually to cut weight. And I just have 2 of these scoops in the water. And because of that, the fact that I need to cut weight, and I try to be, I don't have when I'm bulking like I have been, when you're eating a lot of food, I don't really think too much about what I before my sessions, just because I'm gonna be kind of fueled either way, because I'm like a swamp. I have so much carbs, but now that I am dieting, I try to think way more about being hydrated and get enough hydration and electrolytes before my session and in it, just because I am dieting and I don't have as much storage of foods and carbs to use, and just for not just necessarily the performance in the sessions, but recovering from the session so that I can perform on the next session, because that's the one thing when I'm dieting is my recovery. Sometimes it's not when when you're bulking and you have 1 easy session, what you can basically do is you have 1 easy session because you're bulking. When you're bulking, you're like a swamp. It's when I'm on a deload week, when I'm bulking, it's first 2 days, yeah, not so strong. And then the last half of the week, I'm crazy strong. So it's just this fast and I feel recovered. When I'm dieting, it can take a little bit longer, maybe 2 weeks to get back to where, you know, it just gradually gets better as the weights increase and after deload, but it's not like, you know, one easy session and then you're like a swamp. In bench press, it can be like that because bench press is easy to recover from, but definitely not like in deadlift. I can also taste like how much electrolytes I actually need based on how this tastes. So normally, this actually today tastes a little bit more salty, although it's the exact same concentration that I usually have. And sometimes I think this doesn't taste anything, and I notice that I can taste like the salts and stuff. I feel like a lot more when I don't need it. So that's like actually a good thing that, yeah, it was really hot yesterday, so I had a lot of electrolytes yesterday. So probably because of that. These are like 0 calorie too. I don't really care about that, but it's just a good electrolyte powder. A bit more concentrated. I just started with this like last week, so I can't value it so much, but I think it feels good. Just blend it in. Alright, and then I have a banana. And then I do like my smoothie. The smoothie isn't tasting good. I don't like eating in the morning like this, I can do. But like eating a big meal is like, I don't really like it. But, so I'm gonna have this, and then we get training, start with, you know, I have mobility and rehab first for my knee, and then, you know, I can get into the actual like session. So that's one of the things, but I'm gonna eat this, bring this and start my computer so I don't have to bring my phone, and I will see you in the gym. Alright, this is not the best place for the camera, if you look angle-wise, because we have the window there, but my camera stand is still not working. We ordered a new one yesterday, so it's gonna take like a week or so before I have it. So I have to place the camera stand where it can stand, like tilting towards something. Meanwhile, I just got to the gym, obviously, and I'm gonna have my smoothie. And normally I have this smoothie while I'm doing the rehab, but I haven't started training yet. And I thought I actually would, I would talk to you a little bit. Hold on, let me just get this working. So I don't get smoothie everywhere. And I might as well like drink my smoothie while I actually talk a little bit, so I don't have to do as much talking during the session, because during the session I want to time a rest period to get a good amount of rest and like get going and really like have some forward intent today. But like, I was not gonna film this YouTube video today, let me tell you. I was gonna do it tomorrow because I've been shooting it up, and the reason is, I can be honest, I have not wanted to do these YouTube videos. I felt very unmotivated after nationals to do them. And the reason is not that I don't want to do the YouTube videos, because I do actually enjoy making these. Like, that's why previously I always tried to like make a YouTube video once a week or something, but I haven't enjoyed the way that I was doing them. But as I started doing these training videos and moving up to nationals, I've actually really enjoyed them, because, you know, we have Q&A calls in my coaching, for those in Sweden at least. We have Q&A calls every single Tuesday where we go over feedback and stuff. But in those calls, it's basically, I have a rant every single Tuesday, depending on one client. They're in a certain situation, you know, that I faced either with a client myself or a client before, and then, you know, it turns out to like a mindset rant in a sort of way. And I absolutely love that, and they get a lot from that as well. And that's why this is kind of the same thing, you know, based on what I'm facing during the session. I get a rant of somehow that's natural. It's not something that's forced, but, you know, you can follow along through the mindset of that. And yeah, with that being said, I felt unmotivated and didn't want any videos now. The reason is because I do got Worlds, and that may make sense. I mean, it's not that, okay, I don't have the time, I need to dial in for Worlds now, because these videos actually help my own training. Like, that's why I enjoy doing them. But it's more so that because I have Worlds, I felt a little bit intimidated, maybe like, okay, I got a Worlds right now, and I kind of felt like I need to do something like super hyper focused differently. The thing is, Nationals was the best meet I've ever had. It was a really good meet and I had so much fun. And for Worlds, like, it is the exact same thing. Even if it's a bigger meet, it is the exact same thing. Like, it's just a meet, it's in a different place, a country I've actually been in and competed in before, so it's not gonna be different. I know the travels and everything. Like, I've been to Lithuania before and competed at Open Bench Press Worlds. And so it's not that, it's not like the people, it's not that I'm really nervous or scared for the meet. It's just that because I got Worlds, I felt like I have to have some different kind of mindset. And when I do those things, that's me actually trying to make some hyperintention, to not keep myself accountable unless I do something good, if that makes sense. So usually we see that people, they can have great meets when, like, they stop posting when, you know, training isn't going well. And I'm one of those persons. If training isn't going well, if it's not a perfect lift, I usually don't post it because I feel like, I don't want to show anyone this. That's part of the journey. And I felt like I don't want to make these videos unless training is perfect and it's hypey and, you know, like other people for Worlds, maybe, if that makes sense. And all in all, just because of Worlds, for some reason I can't even explain in words, I wanted to not make YouTube videos anymore. And that's a confession. And then I realized today that what made the journey so much fun for Nationals is because I shared it with all of you. And it's because I dedicated Nationals to all of you, all the people that I'm coaching. Because my dream when I started powerlifting was obviously to, you know, become a decent and good powerlifter and succeed in powerlifting. But it was also so that if I can do that, I can inspire and help others to find something they're good at, to find confidence. Because I used to struggle a ton with mental health. I used to hate myself. I used to be in a really dark place. I used to be like always teased for my way of being. I had trouble with friends. You know, I just had a lot of issues that are very personal in a sense when I grew up, that made it like I always wanted to find something. And when I did find something that I knew I could get good at, that changed my entire being. That's like, it changed my entire life so much. And that's why when I started, always had this dream that I can show people that nothing is impossible, that they can dream. You know, when I did this for Nationals and shared the journey and did this video, I could really feel that I was doing something meaningful with my way of competing. It wasn't my egocentric, I'm just competing for myself, you know, I'm on my own in this session, it's just me and no one else, and that kind of thing that doesn't really get me anywhere. It's good to be able to be by yourself, but it's like I was doing it solely for my own ego, for approval. And then for Nationals, this means I was simply doing it because I wanted it. It felt like my purpose, because I wanted to inspire, because it is my dream when I started, and I kind of retouched with that. And now for Worlds, all of a sudden, because I am a little bit scared, because it is a bigger meet, I can be honest with that. Because of that, I kind of wanted to stop filming these YouTube videos and go into my own head again. But when I do that, it's not as fun, because when I go into my own head, it's like I only do it for me and I can't find that meaningful feeling. And for me, I like fighting for others than just myself, fighting for a bigger cause or a bigger purpose. And you know, I just realized that okay, I'm getting into my own head. You know, I did these YouTube videos, but I was procrastinating doing them. I also didn't have a good rant or anything for it. I just showed my training, and it wasn't any special, these last two YouTube videos. I thought so as well. Like, it's not, you may not have noticed, but I had nothing like meaningful to say in them, because I was just like, okay, need to be perfect, need to be that, this and that, this and that. But in the end, that's not me. Like, the rants that you're seeing, that with sometimes the bad microphone, things being unfiltered, like, that's me. And I wanted to like touch base, make that confession, because that actually helps me to realize, why did I decide to even do Worlds? I did not plan to do Open Worlds. I had the decision. I did not plan to do it. I planned to say no. I decided to do it because I wanted to challenge me to get out of my comfort zone and do something challenging, because I knew I would grow from it. I have nothing to lose. Like I think I'm nominated like fourth or fifth, but like I have nothing to lose at all. I have everything to gain, and no matter the placement, like obviously I want a good placement, but no matter that, everything is to gain. I have nothing to lose. And I'm doing this because I want to grow, because I know I have a gut feeling it's going to be a good thing for my career. It's going to be a good thing for me as a lifter, and I'm excited for that. I am crazy excited for that. But if I sit around and are like, no, I'm not going to, and get into my own head, what's going to happen is I'm going to screw up the journey. It's like 4.5 weeks left until it's time. I don't have so much time to dwell on things and be in my own head, but I have to be able to enjoy this kind of pressure that I'm feeling, and it's only me putting that pressure on myself. And that's why when I feel that pressure that I put on myself, I try to go into my head, and I don't like doing YouTube videos or talking about anything, because I'm like, oh, what if I say this and that's wrong and whatever. I think you understand it's a little bit blurry what I'm saying, but either way, in the end, we're gonna get into the session now, but I'm extremely thankful for everyone that is watching these YouTube videos. Not for like you watching me. You don't need to give me praise about anything. You don't need to tell me I'm good or I inspire you or when. You don't need to tell me that, in a sense. Like I don't need that praise, but for everyone that is watching this, that is taking something for it, that is taking it to believing in themselves in some kind of way, I am so thankful for that. Like that, I am crazy. I can't even explain how thankful I am for that, because that's my dream. That is why one of the biggest things that I'm doing this, and I have to keep reminding myself of that, and not because it's so easy to start getting into, okay, I have to perform more and be at my best, but the bad days, the average days, just at work is also, it's a part of it. And if I only show the PRs, people are gonna think that when they don't do that kind of journey, that's stopping them. Whilst I'll have tons of bad sessions, tons of average sessions. I have very few. I had in the last year, I had 3 or 4 really good sessions. So either way, I hope that makes sense. Right now, it is actually time, because clock is ticking, so I need to get into the benching. First of all, do my rehab. I'm gonna drink this because I couldn't drink while I was talking. So let's get into the bench press. There will be more rants, and like I said, this is gonna be a longer video because I'm gonna tie it together with tomorrow's sessions, but that's got a lot of things off my heart, and it definitely made me more motivated. So thank you for watching, and let's get going.
People just never saw before. Yeah. And you're that guy to bring it. You're that guy to do it. That's when you get styles like we hadn't seen someone in the 70s until Atwood, until Perk. We hadn't seen shit like that. If you are the first to start breaking down new barriers, 100%. An outlier will be like. When it comes to legacy, it really is the public that decides, because they're the ones whose legacy is who's going to talk about you in 5 years. I mean, we talk about, I honestly believe, and we're talking about when you have shifted, for sure stake your claim as the king of powerlifting by the time shifting goes around. The monster of the big show, on that stage, you are the first 1 of 5 ever to do 1,000 kilos. You'll know
Yeah, alright. So I'm done with bench. I did 3 sets of 6s at 90 kilos. They felt good. I think the last set was actually, the first set was the strictest, and then I tend to, because of national, since I train very straight without, sinking the bar as much. What's basically happened is sometimes I go very strict, and then, so depth and control was really, really good. At the same time, on heavier weights, I am going to sink the bar more, so I want to train on the easier weights as well with sinking, so I get used to how much to sink. So for the second set, I sank more. Those 2 sets were really good. On the third set, control and pauses and everything and weight felt good and was good, but depth was a little bit worse, and that's just because I ended up placing the bar further down, on my ribs, instead of higher. So I want to touch the bar here, but I touch it like here, and that does make a difference in depth, sort of. You know, the range of motion becomes like the exact same, but basically from a side view and also from a back view, what is happening is my depth looks a little bit higher. If I look from a front view, depth can look like perfectly, but it basically becomes like I tuck my elbows a little bit, and then, you know, I can sink a lot, but depth is gonna look a little bit worse, rather than if I flare my elbows out, if I touch a little bit higher, depth is gonna look better. And that's what happened on set 1 and 2. Depth was better from the side view, and like the range of motion and how low my elbow got was like the same, but just from the point of view of how it looks. And I want to actually be like making sure that my depth does not just look good from the front, because that can usually sometimes be the case, like it can look parallel and good, but then from the side it doesn't look. So I want it to be like no-brainer, 3 white lights in terms of depth. And for Worlds, obviously, because judging is gonna be tougher there. So I want to make sure, because I've seen this at, I think it was Europeans I was watching, and there was another girl with like the same sink technique as me. She sank a lot lower on her abdominal, and when she did so, like from the front, she was parallel, like 100% parallel. You were thinking like this is 3 white lights in depth, but she got red lights from the side referees, because I think it was just like, because of how from the front view it looked good, but because of how low she sank, because I've seen this, I've experimented with it since then a little bit, that when I sank further down, like on my abdominal, my depth looks a little bit worse from the side, even though it can look the same from the front, since my elbows gets just as low. And that's why I want to be a little bit, touch a little bit higher. And another girl that I know that also does this technique usually always gets good on the white lights, and her depth, like she's not like parallel with her arms in the bottom position. However, it's like she's straight down, so it can be like her elbow is sometimes like really in on the line, but she has good depth. And I just think like these kind of things, even though you're sometimes parallel, you have to take to account to how your, you know, big your shoulders are, how your grip is, and how long arms you have, how your arms tilt and stuff. And so even if I like get parallel, like if my elbow is, I can be like this, but if, you know, parallel, but if my eye hold really, really wide, you can see that my elbow, which is there basically, is not so high. It can, you know, my forearm can look or my overarm can look like kinda, and bicep can look like kinda parallel, but it's not necessarily that my elbow is deep enough, since it's supposed to be more here. And even though it can look like it's a little bit higher on the other girl, like she always gets good, obviously, again, but my mind is just like, I think that's just because of the fact that it's easier for a referee from the side to see. And whilst when you sink further on the abdominal, it can look like, you know, they look in terms of the bench more, because you kind of hide your shoulders. I think that is way harder to see. So I'm trying to hit a little bit higher, a little bit stricter, but do think, because like I have done in the past, just to make sure that my depth looks good from the side, because if it does always look good from the side, then, you know, I can be calm, and I know that it's gonna be good, instead of just looking from the front, because the front is the easiest, and you know, you can manipulate a little bit. If I place my camera from the above, it's usually gonna look a little bit higher, but if I place my camera on like the floor, so it's like underneath, it will always look a little bit deeper. So I just want to make sure that I try to think about these things and how it's perceived for different people, and try to make sure that, you know, the chief referee is gonna have the best side of you on your depth. So if you can look at the other referees and how they are thinking, it can definitely like help. So that's that. Now I got dumbbell presses. I did one warm-up set of 10, and I think I'm gonna go 25 kilos today, because I did 22.5 for 12 reps last week. So I'll see if we can do it. I'm gonna do 22.5 now, and then we'll see if we increase from there. I got 3 sets of 10s. So yeah, let's get going. I am now done for today's session, and this is not gonna be like the normal ending videos because I'm gonna see you tomorrow when I get in the morning when I'm getting ready for the gym again. So tomorrow we got squats, and I think it's 3 sets of 6s. So I did 3 sets of 6s. I think, yeah, at 155 or 5s or 6. I don't remember what it was, but at 155 kilos at least. So we'll see if I can do 155 or above this week again. That would be nice. So that's gonna be the goal. I am very sore today from deadlifts yesterday. I did 215 yesterday on a bad day because I've been on, you know, the week before getting your periods. The girls are gonna know. So I've been I had PMS and been, you know, tired and also a bit sore and haven't been performing as well this week. But 215 on a bad day and repping 190 like it's nothing, that's very good for me. Very, very good. So it was a great day, although it felt like a bad day. But so, I am very sore from the deadlifts yesterday, like in my lower back and stuff. I can feel that. But at the same time, I do feel very, you know, very strong. And I slept well tonight. So it's gonna be nice. So tomorrow, basically, that's it. I got squats, and now I'm gonna go on a longer walk outside, and then I'm gonna start working for the day and work until tonight when I go to bed, and then I'm gonna see you tomorrow. So this is it for today. It was a good session. It was a fun one as well. I feel very proud of that and happy. So time to sip the last of this and get outside for some fresh air for a little while, and I'll see you tomorrow for squats. Good morning, guys. It is Friday. So, like I said yesterday, it's squats. And I've just gotten basically warmed up. I just did 100 kilos, now at 120. My goal for the day, I got 3 sets of 6s. I am not 100%. I'm a little bit fatigued. So we'll see where I end up. Like, I obviously probably can push, but I gotta remember to also stick within the RPE so I don't go like too heavy. So I did 155 kilos, pretty good last week. And I would obviously like to go at least at 150, 155, 160, like around there from what I did last week and something like that. That I would be very happy about. At the same time, since I am a little bit fatigued and, you know, Worlds is 4 weeks away, so it's next week. It's 2 more weeks to push, and then volume is gonna taper down, but we're gonna have like the heaviest singles, and then, you know, it's taper week. So, and taper week, for those who are not so much into powerlifting, means you basically, you know, taper everything down. So like volume, weights, and everything like goes lighter and lighter, so that on meet day you get like a sort of overcompensation. So basically, when we're training, I want to accumulate a lot of fatigue. And being like 4 weeks out, I think like 3 weeks out is when I'm supposed to feel the most fatigue, and then, you know, it should go away. But I am a little bit fatigued, and that's because I had back-to-back meets. And I also had my period this week, so, and I also like was a little bit fatigued this week, and I don't know why exactly, because I haven't been going like super heavy the week before, so that I should be that fatigued, but I can definitely feel it. And can be my recovery is a little bit off. It's getting warmer. Had 1 or 2 nights where it was really hot, and we are waiting for our AC to come. Could be that. It could be a lot of different factors. I'm trying to not like overanalyze why I am fatigued. The fact is I am fatigued, and then I can only listen to like what's there today. And the thing is, if I push today, I am sure I can push quite hard today. Like I can 100%, I can go at the same weight as I did last week, and I can go 160, and I can do 6s at that. I can, however, promise that it will be crazy easy. And that's the one thing that I want to think about today, because this is my secondary squat day. It's not my main squat day. And if I go heavy today, what is basically going to happen is on Monday, I will be even more fatigued. And that can, you know, doesn't really so much matter, but that's when I have my singles, and that's what like builds the most confidence, the most comp specific. So I want my main day to actually be my strongest day. And if I go and push today, because that's what I did last week, I pushed a little bit harder than I probably was supposed to, and then, you know, I can feel the fatigue on Mondays. So that's why today I hope I can go above around what I did last week, but most importantly, I'm gonna watch the video. I'm gonna go based on how it feels, try to make good decisions and get good execution on a set, and like really follow RPE instead. And because I think that if I am a little bit lighter today, then what will basically happen is probably I'll have more energy to execute a good week next week, and a good week the week after that, and then some good singles the week after that, and then we can taper down. And I want to think about that. I don't want to go like, oh, I'm gonna do this weight now. I'm trying to more so think about the long term, trying to like, every time when I peak, I basically want my singles to be the heaviest on the week when I only have heavy singles, but volume is easy. That's like when I want to basically feel in shape. Otherwise, don't really like, it doesn't really matter so much. So I'm gonna do 120 kilos, and I'll talk to you when I get to like a top set basically, and we'll see where I end up on the day. But that's the plan. Go push as hard as I can within the RP, but don't go too heavy, so that I can have more energy for like the next of the prep. So let's go. Let me see if the camera will focus. I did 3 sets. I did first at 145, and then I went down to 140, and it definitely was, I checked the program, and it was actually supposed to be really easy today. So I thought actually pre-hand when I recorded like the first video before I started the session, that it was supposed to be like RP7, and then going up to like 150 would have made sense. But then I checked the program, and it's actually like now it is actually supposed to be really easy, which makes sense in a sense as well, that it's supposed to be easy. Still 6s are hard. So I did 145, and I was like, it is an RP6, because I definitely could have done like 4 more reps for sure. So it's like, it is a little, it's not like it's flying, no effort. It is a little bit challenging, but at the same time, it is the right RP. But I still like felt, okay, it's not that convincing, so I went down to 140. It was like the same thing. I definitely could, it is an RP6 at the same time as it is kind of still challenging. And that's one of the things, like sometimes, and this is something you will have to learn for yourself, sometimes when you do like an RP6, it's supposed to be like, you know, effortless. And sometimes, it depends basically on where you are in the program. Sometimes it can be like a little bit challenging, because usually we can push through like 5, 10, you know, hard, where every rep is hard. And then technically like the RP6 can be very challenging, but it also is not, it's not just, this is not just reps left in reserve. If you train with RPE, it's not only reps in reserve. For example, I got 4 reps left. It's also, you know, rate of perceived exertion. So how it actually feels and also how it looks. So it's like a combination thing. So stuff as well. And my lower back and hip is actually very sour. It has been like way worse lately. And don't exactly know why, but I can't sit as much anymore. So I scheduled an appointment with my PT next week because I think I need that treatment. I also am buying TENS today. It's like these electricity pads because I went to my PT and basically I got a nerve impingement in my hip flexors. My flexors are also really weak, and so that's why with my hip and knee is fine, but then I got my lower back and it's like just sitting right now is hard. So I need to try and stand up or at least lay down today, and in that sense. But now I got RDLs and I think it will actually feel a little better, but I feel like so in a sense I actually, like 140 was a good weight. At the same time I wonder if maybe I should have done like just 120, 130, because I do feel shit. But it is all said and done, so what I can do now is I can do my RDLs perfectly and make sure I recover. Because I am on a deficit as well, and I gotta take that into consideration. Not a big deficit, but I am on a deficit, and you know, plays its parts. Either way, that's it. Now I'm gonna do RDLs. And also unrack the bar and try to get my back in order. And we are done. So just 2 exercises. I actually got sumo deadlifts as well in the program, but we decided that I do those on Saturday instead. So I'm gonna do those tomorrow actually. And that's just because of, you know, my back and groin. And when I've done squats, you know, I'm kind of tired in them, and if I do deadlifts as well. Also, the floor here isn't good for deadlifts, so it likes if I have like a tiny bit of fatigue in my groin and back, and then basically what's gonna happen is if I do deadlifts here, it's like 10x. So instead, I'm doing them on Saturday, so once I got some rest and when I'm more fresh, and also when there's a good floor. So that's allowed me to do deadlifts twice a week instead. So I got those tomorrow. And that's it for this video actually, and now I need to get to work. But it was a good one, and it was easy, so nothing crazy, but those sessions are good as well to also have. So I'm gonna go on a long walk and then get to work as well. But to be honest, I actually don't have anything else that I can think about for this session that's been special, or these two, other than, you know, I gotta make sure that I don't push the weights too hard yet, trying to think about it as I'm building up. So for national, for example, the peak was really good, and then I did the peak weights, you know, on the last week before taper, and I'm trying to think like I should do kind of the same thing this time around. Obviously follow the RP for the day, that's the key one thing. But if I, for example, go, okay, next week, you know, I start push, and then, you know, it's gonna be a little bit worse. Like if I start pushing next week already, and then, you know, I only have 2 weeks, that's gonna be a little bit like off, if, you know, if that makes sense. So instead, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna try to be a little bit, not conservative necessarily, but just smart in terms of my decision making. And that's a good thing when you have back-to-back meets. Because to be honest, every single time when I have back-to-back meets, the second meet has always been worse. So this is like the first time, but that's also because, you know, I started to go crazy heavy to try to prove that I'm stronger than I was at the meet, and that's why like I got into fatigue. So this time around, trying to make sure I actually don't make that mistake, but you know, that I can trust that less is more. Because sometimes when you want to do more and when you want to do a heavier weight, it's so easy to start training way too heavy. Like going heavier and doing more instead of like trusting that, okay, the best thing that I can do now to be in shape for the competition that's coming up soon is to actually do less and more recovery. Because I've never, to be honest, been good at having a long period of training heavy. Never has been working out. Like I can maybe do like some rep PRs in that sense, and obviously when I deload from that, I can get stronger from it, but I'm never gonna be in, you know, my top condition when I do that. And you know, you have to have periods when you're not in your top condition, so those periods are good. But since it's back-to-back meets, you know, the kind of point is to be in my top condition. So I can get better in terms of technique, but there's not so much more like actual strength I can build up. It's more about fine-tuning like the strength that I've built the last 6 months, basically. So that's why, you know, I gotta kind of trust that doing less will allow me to be strong meet day, and that like if I go too easy, I'm gonna lose some stimuli on heavyweight, so that's not an option. But going too heavy for sure is gonna make me like, everything is just gonna get heavier and heavier, and like trusting the process of that, trusting my coach, and you know, having trust in my program and in the process that I will be in shape on meet day. I just have to execute right now, and for sure follow the RP and be very careful not to overshoot. So that's it for this session. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. So stay tuned. And just a quickie for those who are interested. If you are interested in coaching, I now fixed the link for English. So if you press the link below this video, so albaboström.com. If you go to that website, you can find an English button. If you press like the 3 stripes in the right corner, you can find English, and then if you press there, you can get to, you know, basically a booking page where you can schedule a free call with me. And in that free call, I will ask you tons of questions to get to know you better and what your goals are, what you need help with, you know, how you've been training currently, how your lifestyle is looking, all of those things that I need to know. And if I feel like I actually can help and coach you, and also we feel like we're a good match, because if we would hate talking to one another, it wouldn't work. Like no matter how good the help is, you know, we have to be able to speak to one another so that we can make sure that we can communicate good throughout the coaching if you would like to get started on that. So having that, if I feel like I can help you, then I'm gonna tell you more about how our coaching works. So how programming works, communication, nutrition plans, everything, how that works. And if you're Swedish, obviously you can just read through the website to get more info, and you'll also see a booking page. So where you can schedule a free call, so you choose one time where my available time is basically listed in the calendar there, and you answer a few little questions so I can prepare for the call. And then if you're English, we're gonna have a Zoom meet. If you're Swedish, I'm gonna call you up on the phone, and we'll talk there and yeah, see where it leads. And this call is not binding in any kind of way. So if you are just a little bit interested, but you're like, I have no idea if, for example, I can afford it right now, I have no idea if it's a good fit for me, you lose nothing from having the call. At least you get to talk to me and see if it feels good. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So it's not like you're bound to say yes just because you go to this call. That's not the point, because the point of the call is to get to know each other a little bit better before actually jumping into any kind of coaching. So you don't just, get started online and you don't even talk to me, and then you know nothing of what you're gonna get. So it's basically, that's the reason for the call. So you have nothing to lose. It's okay to say no if it doesn't feel good. So if you're interested, just click the link below, and that's it. Now I need to go. But thank you for watching again.